What's going on, everybody? This Richie Rich here tonight. Hope everybody had a great holiday and everything went well for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Tonight we got a special guest. We got a expat actually living in the DR, and I'm gonna let you introduce yourself to the people. Some of you may know him, but I'll let you introduce yourself and maybe you can give the people a quick a quick bio of yourself. Tell them about yourself.
Yeah, my name is Zaba. I live in the Dominican Republic. I've lived in Santiago, Santo Domingo. I've been here going on December, be about 6 years. I'm a retired jarhead, and I like to laugh and have fun and keep it positive. So I love to talk though, so that's a good thing.
Okay. So you're originally from the States, right?
Yes. I grew up in Savannah, Georgia. Went to school in the States and ended up working in the Dominican Republic, at first Panama, Haiti, and then I ended up here.
Okay, hold up. You say you lived in Haiti?
I worked in Haiti.
You worked in Haiti?
I worked in Haiti in Port-au-Prince, probably about 6 months.
Okay, can you talk about that experience just a little bit? I know we're a little bit off subject, but
I'll say this about Haiti. Haiti does have their issues, just like any country has their issues. But there are some really nice places in Haiti. There are some very rich areas in Haiti where there are some wealthy people in Haiti. Generally speaking, I had a great time in Haiti. The people were generally nice. They are totally different than Dominican, in my opinion. But I have really nothing negative to say about Haiti. All of my experiences in Haiti has been good. I haven't lived there, but just working there, I would work on, container ships and come in and out of Haiti and Port-au-Prince.
Okay. All right. That sounds good, man. One day I'm gonna make it to Haiti, man.
Oh, man, you gotta go.
Yeah,
You gotta go.
I'm gonna try to get over there, man.
That's an interesting thing because you hear this stuff from people. It's kind of like what's going on with the Dominican Republic now. You hear this stuff, but then people aren't talking to people on the ground. And so you may have a skewed view of what Haiti's all about.
All right. I'll just read one of the comments. This guy said he just landed. He said he's running from all the serial killers now, Dion. Don't believe the hype. Get your passport and start spreading madness. Okay, all right. Well, he on the ground. I guess he in Sasua. So he's telling his side right now. I appreciate that comment. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Tampa Twan, man, I appreciate you. Appreciate you. Any questions you got, Tampa Twan? I have Azaba answer the questions. Like I say, I'm gonna speak a little bit about Azaba. He's a part of the WTU, and for those that don't know, he was actually the first member to actually join the WTU. And I talked to him, not very often, but we talk on the side, and I have much respect for this guy. And we hadn't talked offline about his thoughts, so everything today is going to be coming straight raw, straight his opinion. I'm not trying to sway his opinion. He's on ground zero, so I really can't speak for the people living in DR. So that's why I brought an expat that's actually living there and has lived in Santo Domingo, right? Santiago, in different places in the DR. So, like I said, I got a lot of respect for this guy. He keeps us grounded in WTU. He's one of the older, more knowledgeable guys. And man, if you guys heard this guy's work resume, and the stuff he's been through. And he didn't tell y'all everything, but man, his resume is impeccable, man. This guy is very intelligent, and you wouldn't believe some of the jobs he has done and some of the stuff he has accomplished in his life. And we won't get into all this personal stuff, but I appreciate you coming on the show, brother. And I appreciate it. I respect your opinion, whether I agree with it or not. You know, hey, I don't know. Because like I said, we hadn't talked about it. So, or we can go ahead and slice the cake however you want to slice it.
Well, I would think that, one thing we talked about offline is that, I think there are people who have YouTube channels and businesses. And so, sometimes they may not say things that I might be willing to say. And so I think we talked offline, there are some, I wouldn't, positive things about living here and negative things about living here. So I would like to start off by talking about all the positive things about living in the Dominican Republic. I wrote some things down, and I'll just go through stuff, and maybe you can stop me if you want me to elaborate.
Okay. All right, brother. Are you on the cell phone?
Yeah.
All right. You got it mounted? Because it seems like it's doing a lot of moving. I don't know.
Right. I don't. I'm not like you, but maybe. I'm trying to stop moving. I'm trying to stop moving.
Oh, no, it's cool, man. You got to do what you got to do. Well, I thought it was me because I've been having a lot of problems with my internet. So, guys, if y'all can't hear me or if the line cut off, I'm going to try to come back on. But I'm about to change my internet provider, man. So, y'all bear with me, man. Yeah. But go ahead, man. Tell your story, brother.
I'm trying to keep in mind of not moving. Some of the positives of living here. I mean, if I didn't like it here, I wouldn't be here. Actually, I think I can say 500 things that are positive versus maybe 100 things that are negative. With that being said, I would say maybe the first thing is the freedom. In America, in the United States of America, we lock up more people than any country in the world. And I think, I could be wrong, China is second. And you know how big China's population is. And we double the prisoners in China. The freedom of movement that's huge. If I get stopped by the police, I'm not really afraid. In America, you can get locked up for years for little things like jaywalking, or you can get locked up for many things. So, I think that as a Black person is huge. With that being said, as a Black man, you are respected. I mean, you don't have to it doesn't have to be said. I'll say this, Rich. Now, this is a question for you. Rich. In your entire life, and I'm thinking you're like in your late 30s or something like that, early 40s, something like that.
41.
All right. Have you ever heard in any group, anywhere, that we should respect Black men in America? Have you ever heard that amongst any group of people?
You saying, have I ever heard any group of people say that we should respect Black men besides the Black community?
No, even in the Black community, I've never heard that spoken out loud. Now, you can see that kind of stuff online, but I'm talking about in a group of people. Have you ever heard anybody espouse that?
Well, I mean, I hear a lot of people say, they'll say like, we brothers, man, respect each other. I live in Atlanta, so it's mainly Black people. So I would say you don't hear it often, but you'll hear brothers speak like that,
To each
at
other.
events. Yeah,
Yeah.
to each other. Yeah,
Yeah. But
yeah.
I've never heard it amongst like a group. When I say a group, like an event, I haven't heard it much. And here I think you do get that respect. And I think us as brothers, we're looking for that. Maybe the second thing would be as far as, let's say, the women, for instance. Um, you don't have to look for them; they kind of look for you. Uh, but let me say this, and Rich, we talk about this all the time too. I'm not a sex pat. I ain't mongering. You talking to a whole different dude, okay? Whereas a lot of cats are on that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not. But I'm not saying it's bad for anybody to do what they do, Rich. I'm just saying you're talking to a brother that ain't really out there like that, you know. And so, and a lot of times, Rich, and I heard, shout out to Taylor Made. He reminds me of myself so much. Um, when you got that spirit about yourself, that's what you're gonna get. You know what I mean? I mean, if you think about it, like I think about it like this, man. Uh, when you deal with people who ain't got no job, ain't trying to get no job, has never really had much responsibility in their life, and that's pretty much what you're dealing with when you travel, then that's what you're going to receive. So in a way, you could be maybe blinded or misguided in reference to how people are. I mean, when you don't meet no professional people, you don't deal with people at work, you don't deal with people, it kind of gives you a certain perception. It's just like guys who don't travel, right? Like if a guy doesn't travel and you try to tell him, for instance, ice cream is good, but he's never tasted ice cream. Now he will believe you because he's your friend. He'll say, Richie told me ice cream was good, but, and I believe Rich. Now, if he ain't never tasted ice cream, he just doesn't know what you're talking about. He can't internalize what you're talking about. And guys have actually experienced with dealing with people outside of red light districts, it's another level that a guy who had not really dealing with that, just he hasn't tasted the ice cream yet. So he has a different vision. Okay. I'll say this as a third thing. It's you'll feel traditional women here tend to embrace their femininity. Whereas in America, it's a different animal. And I think if you're doing what you need to do, and I want to regress a little bit when I talked about the type of energy you have will determine who sits at your table. The type of energy determines who's going to eat at your table. And you can easily see that, let's say with a woman in America, whatever her energy is, that's the type of men she's going to bring into her circle of contact. And we as men are not above that. So as long as you're kind of on your thing, you'll run into very good people, and women. Number 4, I think I'm on 4, the racial tension. Man, you don't feel it like in America. It's difficult for us as African American people to convey to white people the racial tension that we experience. It's difficult. I remember riding in a car and passing by a policeman. Me and my white friend was in the car. And think about it's little simple things like this. Like the white guy didn't even look back. What black person passes by a police with their lights on that doesn't look back? So, when we walk into stores, things like that, The racial tension, I mean, it's here. It's here. But it's not. You have a sense of freedom, and a sense of manhood that I just kind of don't think a lot of brothers actually have experienced. Also, number 5 or number 6, if you're an African American, you have that sense of there's a word called the gringo advantage. The gringo advantage is there are some advantages to you being an American, African American expat. There are some advantages. Now you can abuse those advantages, or you can take advantage of those advantages. It's purely up to you. You know, there's some, and I know some people may disagree. There's some circumstances where you get treated better than some Dominicans. For instance, I was going to get some ice from a hotel about a week and a half ago, and I was with a Dominican friend of mine, and he goes, "Zaba, you need to go in there, man." He said, "They'll probably give you ice before they give me ice." And actually, actually, now, in the court of law and things of that nature, but there are some instances whereby Richie, it's gonna work against you, in the court of law and things of that nature. But that's the negative conversation. Right now, I'm focused on the positive. Okay. There's another reason why it's cool here, because Dominican Republic is either 4th or 5th as far as the largest Black population outside of America. And so there are many people who look like you here, and so, that kind of helps. And honestly, it's unbelievable for the most part, if you carry yourself in a decent way, how polite people are. And a sense of family is easy for me here. Another thing, and I'm thinking I'm on 7 or 8, I could be wrong, but I think as far as relationships, most men are looking for submissive women. I would argue that, Dominican women here are more submissive, and like I said earlier, more feminine than what we are used to. The Me Too movement isn't here like it is in the States. Divorce, for instance, is better. I mean, that could be a negative and a positive, but in the States, if you get a divorce, you just expect to lose everything. Here you can. I would argue that even though that can happen here, it's just you can move on easier here. I would guess. There are you certainly have more options. Let me say this, Rich, and I know you know this from this being a travel group. As a man who travels, we have much more options than we realize. And so that's the lower cost of living is huge. I mean, you could pretty much live here if you're not, going out every night and things like that for, pretty cheap, depending on the cities. I think Santiago is going to be a little higher, Cabarete and some of the other areas where they're, it could be a little higher, but you could, in Santo Domingo, certainly, I mean, in Santiago, where I'm at, you can certainly live here for $1,000 a month, complete. And that's talking about car insurance and everything. So, that's another thing. I think there are fewer guns here. I know there are fewer guns here. Although they have their problem, there are fewer guns here. You get some cities in comparison, like Chicago, where you talking 50 people in a weekend, so that kind of thing. One of the most important things too, Rich, is less stress. Certainly there's less stress. Now, that's going to depend on your circle of contact. It depends on you. Kind of like the food, Rich. You hear people talk about all the time, well, the food is better. Certainly, you can get a lot of organic and healthy food here. But if you're looking for that bad food, you can find it here too. There are a lot of expats that come here, drink themselves to death, eat themselves to death, you know. But it's going to depend on you. I would say this in reference to that. In the United States, it's like every gas station, everywhere you go, and you can't go anywhere without seeing food. Here, it's not as saturated. It's not as saturated as the States, especially in places like Puerto Plata and things like that. I think also, and I don't want to go into too much of this, but I think most people who are thinkers understand this. I think that legal prostitution is a benefit. There's a lot of variables, I think, that help with that. As a man, you probably won't ever feel like sexually frustrated here. I think that also I hear people say they don't have Dominican friends. I think that is a mistake. There are some really, let me back up. Let me back up when I say friends. I think because I'm an American, I kind of see friends the way that I see American friends. Like me and you would be considered friends, but it's not predicated on money. Like it's not predicated on money. When I have friends here, I tell them, look, if you have a Dominican friend and you don't spend no money, it ain't predicated on money, then maybe you have a friend. Now, if he's around you because he benefits from you in some sort of way, well, maybe it may not be a friend, So but there we go again. If you're in them certain environments and you're dealing with them certain people, then that's the kind of people you're gonna get in your circle of contact. We attract what we are, and so that's how that goes. And again, I could go on and on and on about the positive. I'll give you some. I'll go into some of the negatives if you want me to.
All right. Hold on. Before you start, fellas, please support the channel by hitting the like button. Appreciate everybody coming in. Just try to do that. That's free. Thanks for the super chat, MMA fan and Tapatuan. And I want to ask you one question before you get into the negative. So tell me about the different parts of DR that you think that brothers should avoid. Like, I mean, what areas that we really shouldn't go to? I know you live in Santo Domingo, different parts like that. Let me know which city you think is more dangerous, Santiago, Sosua, what, in your opinion?
Well, I think it's a two-part question. I think it's that's a hard one. What part should we avoid? I would say this, man. Red light districts are going to bring their problems. I mean, that's just a socio-anthropological, easy thing to see. You're going to probably find more drugs in those certain areas than you may find, for instance, in the country. So I probably would be hard pressed for me to say maybe what cities they should avoid versus what behaviors they should avoid. But it's clear that some of the cities are dangerous, more dangerous than others. I mean, I live in Puerto Plata, and I felt I was in Puerto Plata for about 3 years. And I might have heard, I might have heard about maybe 2 Americans getting killed. I felt very safe in Puerto Plata. However, from robbery, certainly I didn't. And I think that certainly Santo Domingo and some of the bigger cities, Santiago, San Francisco, it can be dangerous. Now, that's the negative, and then we probably would have to define dangerous also to quantify it. But certainly, I think in some of the bigger cities, you just have to be careful. Even in some of the tourist areas like Punta Cana, La Romana, I mean, you just got to be careful, I think. But it would be hard pressed to say for me what places people should avoid, because this is the thing. If you want to go to the drug area, okay, I can tell you the drug area, not that I'm a druggie. So what you're looking for is gonna, I would say this. Let's say, for instance, Sasua. We all know people go to Sasua. I think you will find more, in my opinion, this is my opinion, more drugs and more people taking your stuff. Ain't no dude been in this country and don't know nobody that got their stuff taken in Sasua. So, I think it's a lot of variables is I guess what I'm getting at. I'm a little bit reluctant to say what places people should avoid, because people don't go to certain areas for what they're looking for. And I would also say that certain areas are going to bring about certain issues and certain things. I kind of don't go in those circles, for the most part. As a matter of fact, I think you know about this. Money Mike took me out in Santiago. That was the first time I had been out in Santiago, and I had been in Santiago for maybe 8-9 months. And I haven't been out since, because I don't really go out like that. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody was in a group and they was like, hey, like Zeke told me, he was like, yo, man, when I'm going to get lunch, man, I'm going to call you up, because he probably knows my energy, because if he would have said, hey, man, when I'm in Santiago, man, we going to kick it at the club, that probably wouldn't be me. And let me say this also, Rich, to that, because I'm kind of leaning on that. I'll get into that on the next part in reference to safety. Any more questions?
No, I mean, you can go ahead and if anybody got any questions, throw it up in the chat or whatever. But I mean, you're doing a pretty good job. I guess you continue on about the negative stuff. People.
Well, I'll say this as a precursor too. When I look at expats who have been here for 2 years or less, have a different view than expats who've been here for maybe 3 or 4 years or more. And that's kind of important, people who actually have been living here for a long time versus people who've been living here less than 2 years. I think those two different expats will have maybe different views on things, Some of the negatives, bro, is that I wrote some things down. Let me look at because I ain't really been looking. Racism. It amazes me that you got expats who have YouTube channels and they act as if the racism does not exist, or they will interview a Haitian who ain't gonna say nothing on camera, about some of the negatives. But they don't have to believe me. You can look at some of the stuff that's documented. They made those deportation laws in September 2013. where they said any Haitian who was living here from 2000, who didn't have a parent from 19, I think it was 29, they would be deported. I actually saw the Haitians being deported. I think if you really get with the average Haitian that's not hanging around some of these red light districts, making a living. I mean, it's almost like, it's almost a joke. You'll get some, you can go in the States, right? And you get some of these dudes or some of these women will be like, racism is over. It doesn't exist. Really? What planet are they on? What planet are they on?
Hey, well, let me interject right here, man. Now, y'all know I just recently took a trip to Rio, and it's more black people in Rio than it is any country in the world besides Africa. So I experienced racism over there. So racism is around the world, man. I mean, it's here to stay too, man. It's sad to say, but it is, man.
Yeah, Rich, anybody that talks about a country, racism, like you said, Rich, it exists all over the world. You just gotta be, wow, that's just amazing. I mean, you don't have to believe me. You can just look up, like what I'm saying about Dominican law. And Dominicans will try to argue that it doesn't exist. And this law is on the books. Okay, a lot of this is a fact, this is law. Haitians pretty much were denationalized. I can tell you some situations where that I have experienced. I was going into a club, and I was with about 4 other Haitian brothers, man, and we were going in. And it was like, y'all can't come in, y'all can't come in. And so the guy heard my accent. He was like, oh man, you American? Man, you can come in. He said, in front of the Haitian dudes. So, that opened, whatever. So, some Haitians have been forcibly removed. There's a website called centromontalvavo.org. These are Haitians that are experienced racism, and they live in the Dominican Republic. And, they put a bunch of issues of what's going on with them here. There are countless numbers of cases where Haitians have been, let me say this, because, man, I don't want to be negative, but I think it doesn't do travelers a service by trying to, it's almost like, I kind of feel like it's almost like you get a person from Great Britain, and then a guy from America wants to go into this whole conversation how racism doesn't exist in America. And I think just as that person would be doing a UK Black person a disservice, I think it would be doing travelers a disservice to say that it doesn't exist, or it's not here, or I haven't seen it. It's almost like saying, well, the police ain't never brutalized me. Like, police brutality doesn't exist because I haven't individually experienced it. Let me give you this thing also. If you talk to the average, I'm not going to even say average. I'll just say this. If you talk to many white Americans about police brutality, they do not want to talk to you about that. They're going to start going into the good cops. they will not have a conversation with you about the bad cops. They just won't do it. They'll say, well, and this is what most of these guys are doing on YouTube. If you talk to me about is America dangerous or is Chicago dangerous or whatever city, I won't instantly go into talking about the things that don't happen. Many of the moderators, I kind of feel, if you say, well, the Dominican has their problems, they'll instantly talk about something else, American problems. You know, like you didn't even ask them the question about the Dominican Republic. They'll go into this comparative and comparison conversation. They just like white folks don't want to talk about bad cops. That's what I feel is going on when people want to talk about is the Dominican Republic, does the Dominican Republic have problems? They just won't talk about it. Okay, and that's a strong statement. I know some people are going to have problems with it, but it's true. You talk to average white folk about bad cops, they'll start talking to you about good cops. But the good cops, they won't discuss it. So, and then I have to define what is safe. What is safe? So I would think that most anthropologists define, a country safe. They do all these studies per 100,000 murders and things like that. Now, if you ask me straight out, is America safe? I'd be like, hell to the no. It ain't difficult. Hell to the no. But you ain't asked me about the United States. You asked me about the Dominican Republic. So when you look at all the statistics, is the Dominican Republic safe? There are about 200 countries, bro, in the world. Maybe 195, give or take. People, Dominican Republic always at the bottom, bro. They always down at the bottom by any group of people who study this. But now, if you ask me, do I feel safer in the Dominican Republic than I do in the United States? I would submit to you, it depends on the situation. I feel very comfortable walking at night or being in the front of my house with a cell phone in the United States. In this mud, bro, anybody who has been to Santiago, Santo Domingo, if you ain't in them tourist areas, bro, you walking, Dominicans will look at you like you crazy. You cannot walk in this country. Not I say in this country, but in many of the cities. It's like a ghost town at night in Santiago and non-tourist areas. These bars are not on these windows for nothing, on the 5th floor, on the 9th floor. Bars on the window. It ain't for nothing. If you ask, tell these Dominicans to take the bars off their window. So in certain situations, it's more dangerous in the United States. It just depends. You can't even walk down the street with a cell phone in Santo Domingo. Matter of fact, if you don't believe me, anybody who's listening, you don't believe me, every Dominican probably, on the most part, knows somebody that has been in a terrible accident, moto or whatever. And I would submit to you, almost every Dominican knows somebody that has had a gun in their face or a gun in a robbery. That's just talk to your Dominican friends. I can't, however, I don't want to go into a comparative thing, because if you get me talking about is the United States safe, I go in on that too. But that's a different conversation. That's a different conversation. If you don't believe me, look at the numbers. There are about, again, I'm going to repeat this, there are about 195 countries in the world. Dominican Republic is always down there. That says a lot right there. Everybody, even most tourists who've only been here one time, always concerned about getting robbed. Man, this is a robbery mug. This mug ain't no joke as far as people stealing from you. You know, that's real talk that a lot of YouTube channels don't even want to talk about. But they ain't gonna deny it. They're gonna start talking about something else. So, you know, when you define I feel very safe compared to America. Now, let me say this also, Rich. When people say this is the safest country I've ever been to, they ain't been nowhere, bruh. They ain't been nowhere. This is not the safest. This always ranks. It is not. Haiti, if you look on Wikipedia, I looked this up before I started talking. If you look on Wikipedia, Haiti is ranked 88. Dominican Republic is ranked 91. Now, that was a certain, that was just overall safety. But that's just my opinion. I put it to you also like this too. It's according to, I was passing by the pool today and it was thundering and lightning, Rich. Man, in America, we be out of the water, right? Man, they was in that water like it was a fiesta. You know what I'm saying? So the point that I'm making is that, you know, what we deem as dangerous may be different than maybe what Dominicans deem as dangerous too. I mean, it was thundering and lightning, bro. Everybody was in the pool. They wouldn't even think about getting out. Whereas we're in America, we'd be getting out. I think the average American, for the most part, would not feel comfortable walking around in the Dominican Republic. Most Dominicans at night, most Dominicans don't feel safe walking around in the Dominican Republic at night. And then I can hear the comments now, but in America, we ain't talking about America. Like Mr. T said, we ain't talking about America, fool. We talking about the Dominican Republic. So that whole thing of walking at night, the thing that is very scary, in my opinion, of being here, and this is why I think I go into the whole rant, Ridge, is because if a person is kind of blind, that's when things can happen to them. You know, by thinking it can't, you know, like it. I'll give you an idea. When things happen to you here, and you can see this even within our group, people will be like, well, he should have been more careful. He should have done this. He should have done that. Should have done this. When you go to, let's say, for instance, Rich, somebody breaks into your house here. They're going to say, when you go to court, matter of fact, somebody broke into my house. The police didn't even want to come investigate. All right. They're going to be like.
In the DR or in the state?
They be like, they done got you now, bro.
But they do that too in the States now. Come on now.
They gonna at least come to your house, bruh.
Hey, I had my truck stolen, right. And this is God honest truth. My truck got stolen. All right, go ahead.
Before you say that, these people broke in my house. This was a house robbery.
Oh yeah. That's true. But man, the police never came. Man, they told me. They said, well, yeah, we on the way. 2 hours later, I called back. They was like, man, just do it over the phone, man. I said, damn.
I understand that, right? You know,
somebody breaking your house, that's different. Yeah, it is different. But do they only come because maybe they only come because like maybe for insurance purposes in the state? Because they're not in a rush to come to a home robbery in the States now.
Yeah.
I mean, what police is going down the road 100 miles an hour trying to get to your house if somebody broke in my crib? They ain't coming, man.
But damn, I was gonna say.
A question that been coming up. People want to know, well, why did you choose Dominican Republic versus any other country?
You know what's funny? What's funny, Rich, is that look at the first part of the conversation.
Yeah, they missed the first part. A lot of
Yeah,
y'all,
yeah.
I see some of y'all
Positive.
coming in now. Now he gave
Talk
a
about
larger list of positive stuff. Now he going through the negative stuff. I understand some of y'all
it.
just coming
People
in.
don't want to talk. People don't want to talk about nothing. Like I told you, they just want to talk about the good police. They don't want to talk about the bad police. You can't, that's, I have, you hit it right, Rich. If you want me to talk about all the positive things, I can do that for 24 hours straight. I can do that. I have 1,000 positive things. But just like my children, or just like any loving relationship you have, if you're honest, you can point out the pros and the cons. Possibly negative is has a negative connotation. I should just use the word pros and cons if that helps people. Um, I mean,
Hey,
people don't want you to say nothing in the con, and that's the problem. Well, uh, damn, man, it was something very important I wanted to say to you. Dang, 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 dang. Oh yeah, most people. I'll just continue. If you help somebody in this country, let's say you see a guy, he done broke his back and he hollering, right? You
yeah.
help him if you want to. Take him to the hospital if you want to, Rich. They could put you on the hook, bro. Just saying. I'm just saying. All right.
Well,
And
hey
so
man, this what we'll do, man. We heard some of the negative. Let's see, man. Like I told you
what,
before,
Rich?
it's a sensitive subject, man. You
Right.
know, so we're gonna keep it a little light on the folks, man.
So
Like I said, I
I won't
love
say
I love the DR. I'm going regardless. And
right.
I tell people, hey man, go regardless, man. But I mean, you always gotta, go with your brain too, man. Don't go out there flashing and doing all this. I mean, I
I
seen a
hear
guy
you.
down there rent a Range Rover, a Porsche, and stuff like that. Why would you need to do all that? You know what I'm saying? Like,
But
just like you said, you
I
can go
know a lot of
anywhere.
people.
It's just how you handle yourself, how you carry yourself, and I mean, if what you doing in the drug area, what you doing in this rough, you just gotta.
I'll get on the con. I won't talk about the cons, but I will say this, and this is hugely important. Hugely important. You see, I think if I would have to say anything in reference to how to be safe, that would probably be the most important thing that I said. Let me say this. I was talking in a group today about how you can do everything right in the United States, and some girl could come along and say you were looking at her too hard. I mean, I don't know where exactly you work, Rich, but some woman tomorrow could say Richie did this. And
Oh,
and
hold
not
up.
only that, not only that, I'm going to, this is interconnected to the DR. Not only that, somebody could come along when you went in Walmart and said you rubbed up against them. What I'm saying, Rich, is this. This is what I'm saying. It ain't about, in this country, necessarily, certainly, Rich, you can increase your chances of getting accused of something in the United
Uh,
States and getting in a situation from what you do. Same here. You increase your chances from becoming a victim because of the things you do. But the most important thing that I'd like to convey, you could be doing everything right, bro. Let me tell you about that robbery at my house. I was home, bro. I was in a safe neighborhood, bro. I had a security guard, bro. That didn't prevent them from trying to rob me. Now, I can sit up here and tell you 10 more things where I was doing everything right, or people were doing everything right. That's the thing, in my opinion, that's scary. That's the thing that's scary. And a lot of brothers kind of leave that part out. Let me back up. If you go to court, they're gonna be like, why you didn't have an alarm? And you say, I had an alarm. They'd be like, well, why you didn't have a security guard? I had a security guard. They'd be like, why you need dogs? I had dogs. And it just keeps going on. It keeps going on and on and on. And I see brothers do that in a group. They'd be like, he should have been careful, or he should have done this, or he should have done that. It ain't always people doing the wrong thing, getting in bad situations, bro. That's all I'm saying. And we won't talk about the cons
man. That's true, man. Nah, we ain't prison about it.
I need to make your people happy because they don't need to hear what's going on over here.
Hey, man. Hey, like I told you, when you came on, I'm gonna let you speak. Your opinion ain't nothing coerced or nothing. You know, it's just your opinion. What's going on? You on ground zero. I'm here in Atlanta. I mean, I had one of my neighbors, they broke in his house. I mean, luckily he was home and he draw down with a gun on the guy and he ended up running. But I mean, it happen anywhere in the world, man. You know,
like I said, if you want to talk about crime in America, I'm ready to go in, but we ain't talking about crime.
I had a guy. I was trying to tell you earlier. I had a guy pull a knife out on me, because he thought I was trying to make advances towards his old lady. And the only thing I told the lady was, how you doing? And she just turned her head and kept walking. And next thing you know, about 5 minutes later, this dude comes up to me like with a knife, like, yo, you talking to my girl? You think my girl a prostitute? So I was like, what the fuck? This is right here. This was in Atlanta, man. It was a Mexican dude, man.
Stories about crime in America. I can go in.
Now I was kind of putting that in there because you talked about, guys that think you talking to their girl.
I'll say this, and I'll go back to the positive because there's a lot of positives that I didn't talk about. So let's go back to the positive. But I'll say this. Like I've kind of been saying, if you talk about some of the issues that are going on here, people pretty much kind of drown you out because they don't want to hear that.
No, man, DR, they don't want to hear nothing negative now. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's reality.
We can talk about the positives. I can keep going about the positives. The proximity.
Let me give Markel TV a shout out. Appreciate the super chat, man. He gave me 2 donations. I appreciate that. And fellas, man, y'all, we just talking about things, man. So y'all don't get upset at Richie Rich, man. Hey, it's like some things gotta be discussed, man. We can't just sweep everything under the rug, man. Some things got to be discussed. I'm starting not even touch this subject, man, because it's a sensitive subject, man, and it's including the death of people, man, and that's serious. Whether it was foul play or not, which I think most of the cases it probably wasn't, man. Just some funny stuff was going on at that resort. The other stuff is just people, I don't want to speculate because I don't know all the details. I don't know all the facts on everything either. So we could speculate all day. We could say the guy took Viagra. We could say that we don't know, man. We don't know. So we can't assume that somebody did some foul stuff either. You can't just always assume it was foul stuff. And you can't believe the news, man. Y'all guys reading these news, this and that happened, man. I had a partner of mine, his son got caught up in some stuff, and I saw the news report, man. They made it seem like this dude was the mafia, man. Like he just murdered everybody. I mean, the news gonna exaggerate everything because they doing like people on YouTube. They just want clicks. You know, they want attention. They want people to read their story. They want to be the big headlines. And like I say, I just wanted to address this topic this one time. And I know you've been in DR for many, many, many years, and you traveled to other different countries. You've been to Iraq too, right? Azaba?
Me? Yes.
You okay? So you think the DR is safer than Iraq?
You funny, man. I mean, you're
I
talking
mean,
about
that question was posed in the chat, man. I'm just asking you.
I mean, like you're talking about a war zone, Richie.
You stupid. Hey, well,
No,
you know what?
I think you know what you did, Richie, man. This, I think that controversy stimulates thought. I think it's good for people because look, Richie, you ain't. It's me. They can't come after you. They got work. Text me. You know, so I don't think it's a bad thing to say, well, hey, you know, hey man, people mad. You know, you're lucky I can't cuss. I'm like, man, you know, you know, I mean, I ain't, you know, I'm only speaking my opinion. You know what I'm saying? And that's all it is. You know what I mean? And then I just got on to look at the comments, and pretty much, I kind of agree with a lot of what the people saying, but you can't compare a war zone to the Dominican Republic. I mean, like I said, bro, I feel safer here than I do in a lot of United States cities. Much safer. But
all right, Mr. Flip Flop says, let's name 2 places safer than DR. So everybody in the chat,
I can name 20 places safer than DR.
Safer than DR?
Hell yeah. What is he talking about? I mean, what is he? He's never been to, if Japan, Korea, Netherlands,
We ain't going to them places.
Norway. No, I can go on and on and on. There are so many.
We're not going to them places though. Brother's not going there, man. You been to Jamaica before? You been to Jamaica?
No, but you talk about a country that might be worse than the DR.
What, Jamaica?
I would think so.
Okay, so that's one country that DR is safer than Jamaica then.
One out of
Jamaica
200.
Jamaica was in the news for a while about some stuff going on too. You know,
Jamaica is a dangerous country, bro. Now he asked, name one country, and I'm rattling them off. I can go on to 50 countries safer than the Dominican Republic if he want me to.
All right, Charles Thompson said you could die in Long Beach tonight. Absolutely.
You're right.
I mean, you can die, man. You can die.
Right.
You can die in Beverly Hills, Hollywood, man. I mean,
hey, look at you.
I had more problems. I had more problems, to be honest, when I moved out of the hood areas and I had in the hood areas. To be honest with you, man, I never had a car stolen from me when I had my 2-bedroom, 700 square foot apartment in the hood. I never had a problem. I never had nobody break in. I never had no problem. And when I moved to a suburban area, I had a lot more problems, man, because the area is so quiet. It's just open to crime, I mean, you know. But like I say, man,
somebody, you wouldn't think I would disagree. I can get killed in Atlanta or get killed in Jackson. I mean, but that ain't the point. The point is, we ain't talking about Atlanta.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, we can bring it in the conversation though, because you know, I mean, we can't just. We got to be. I mean, we can bring everything into conversation, bro. I mean, we can't
Yeah.
just
I mean,
point one
United
place. We
States,
comparing
United
places.
States, United States, as well as the Dominican Republic, would not be one of the top 50 of the countries, safest countries in the world. Now, instead of taking what I just said and go, you know what, that brother got a point, they'll start talking about something else. It wouldn't be in the top 50 countries.
All right. Well, before I went to Brazil, y'all know I just went to Brazil. All I heard before I went to Brazil is, man, be careful over there. Man, watch yourself, man. Man, they gonna kill you at the airport. But when I got there, you know, they had me a little, you know, on my toes a little bit. But when I got there, I felt a little more comfortable. Now, I'm not saying that it won't go down, and they do go down in Brazil, but hey, man, like you say, it's how you carry yourself, where you at, you know what I'm saying? What you
Right,
doing, you know, you walking down the street 4 o'clock in the morning. I mean, anywhere in the world, shit can go down. You know what I'm saying? So,
right. I feel you on that. I feel you on that. Now, now, Richie, hate to drive that point home, but it's like I don't understand the problem in saying, hell yeah. I mean, I'm from Savannah, Georgia. Hell yeah, that mug dangerous. You better not be walking around Savannah. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Is it the worst place in the world to be? No. I mean, but is it safe to be walking at night? No. Well, any one of them brothers who say it's safe, tell them walk around a cell phone in Santiago, Dominican Republic at night. They ain't gonna do
yeah.
it. They're just gonna shoot. They're gonna talk about something else. But you know what, though, Rich? I'm kind of glad you had this show because ain't nobody doing that. Ain't nobody talking about it.
Well, that's why I brought you on, man, because I know you've been living out there for years.
But look,
You
man,
know,
I can appease them. I can appease them. I can talk about the positives. I can kiss their butt.
all right, Mr. Flip Flop said he done walked around the hood and he
See,
will do it again, whatever.
tell them flip me and me. I have to talk, send him a message.
Maybe you need to get on his show and y'all talk or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Hey,
but
anybody walking
also
around, anybody walking around here,
I will say this. You're a big dude too, though. You're a tall dude. You got a big stature. I mean, if a little man walking around, they might toss him up. You know what I mean? So everybody can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can't do that. But yeah, man. So
you see flip
he
flop.
said he'll come visit you in Santiago, man.
He needs to. Hey, me and flip flop will have a good time. But you know, you see, he didn't address Dominican Republic ain't the top 50 of safest countries in the world. He didn't address that.
Man, I'm gonna be honest. Ain't nothing going down Sosua. You can go to Sosua any day of the fucking year, and you don't have to worry about no crime or nothing
Right.
like that. Only thing you gotta worry about is a chica stealing your stuff, and that's on you because you lock that up.
I
But
agree with
I
you.
mean,
That's
ain't
the
nothing
sewer
going
now. We
down.
talking
Ain't
Dominican
nothing going
Republic.
down, bro.
Yeah, we that's the sewer. We talking Dominican Republic or we talking sewer now? Which one you want to talk about?
No, I'm just stating the fact. I'm just stating
Right.
the fact. You know, I'm just like I said. I've been to Santiago. I went to Santo Domingo for a short time. And I ain't gonna lie now, Santiago, it look kind of, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't walk around there like in certain areas I wouldn't, man. I'm gonna say that.
I would say
Not at night.
I would say Sasua is pretty safe also, bro.
Yeah,
And the most thing you got to worry about there is just people stealing.
yeah, that's it, man. I mean, but that's anywhere in the world, man. If you in a country where people don't have the funds like that, man.
No,
I mean, just
me and
like you
you,
said with the cell phone, but people in America, we got more money, man. So you'll be able to walk around a little more freely, man. I mean, it's certain areas you ain't gonna walk around with your
right.
phone all
But,
out
but
at night.
I'll say this to that though, Rich man. I think me and Big Boss was talking about this one time, and in all countries, poverty is not always equated to crime. And he was like, well, name one country. And I was like, Cuba. You know, and there are other countries where poverty is not always interconnected with crime. Here it is, in the United States it is, but there are countries in the world where there's poverty and then not extreme robbery and things like that.
Word.
But you know, for the most part, and like I say, man, if anybody wanted to ask me if this is where do I feel safer, I would say here, as long as I'm in certain environments, I feel safe. But at night, walking around, I feel safer in Jacksonville, Florida.
Word. Hey, but you know, this is the thing, too, man. Like, it's always been like a hood rule. Like, if you ain't from a hood, you don't need to be walking around there at night or certain areas. If you don't know nobody, you ain't got no business over there. You're just making a problem for yourself if you don't know nobody. That's like when we went to the favelas, we took the tour, and Obi-Wan like, yo, y'all good. Y'all, this is my favela. I'm from here. As long as y'all with me, y'all good. Don't come back by yourself. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't got no business being in certain areas, then hey man, your risk goes up. You know what I'm saying? That's anywhere in the world, man. Like, I mean,
Right.
we can rent.
Again, when you talk about the Dominican Republic, people don't want to talk about it. They
Nah,
want to talk
man,
about
you gonna make folks unsubscribe, man. They gonna unsubscribe, man.
No, you will get more people as a result of a real conversation, I believe. You'll get more people as a result of a real conversation.
Well, that's why before we started, I said I just want your opinion. You know, we
Right.
didn't talk about what not to talk. I said, hey man, you got the floor to talk about however you want to talk about it, but at the same time, let's keep it PG
And
and
it
let's
has.
have respect for the people that died. That's the only thing I ask.
I mean,
So
we ain't even talking about the murders though. We ain't talking about people that died.
yeah, we never really talked
No,
about that.
the PG and the die, that's a whole. But again, bro, if you talk about the DR, people want to talk about, well, what about my city? What about over here? I know a person in my hood. They don't want to talk about it. And you know what? I'm gonna say this. That's intellectually dishonest.
Yeah,
Because
that's true.
if you call me and you go, man, let's talk about crime in Russia. I might be a little bit comparative, but I'm not going to be talking about, well, what about the crime? I could die in Atlanta. I'm going to talk to you about the crime in Russia. But but anyway, let me acquiesce, bro. You ain't letting me acquiesce. Let me kiss stay behind.
Oh,
Let me tell them what they want
no,
to hear.
man.
Let
Hey,
me tell them
man.
what they want to hear.
I've been in Facebook groups and stuff like that, man. It's just it's a lot of false reports out here, man. I've seen a fake report saying Donald Trump's gonna ban the BI. It's just a lot of fake news out here, man. Y'all can't believe the hype, man. Like, I mean,
Right.
I don't recommend people going to resorts and stuff like that. I mean, think about it, man. If you're at a resort, right, it's like going to a buffet. I mean, it's bound to have some type of food that maybe got a little bacteria in it. Now a bunch of people gonna get sick. I mean, you just got a lot of hands and different things, man. I don't recommend it. I recommend you just getting a hotel, Airbnb, and doing your vacation on your own. Who wants to sit in a resort all day and just eat and drink and go in the
So
pool, man? Come on, man.
So, Rich, what is your, bruh? Like we talked about earlier, I ain't gonna give no opinion on the resorts, man, because I don't know what's going on, man. If you had to guess, just play devil's advocate. If you had to guess, what do you think's going on in the resorts?
I don't want to speculate on that, man, because there's lies involved. But I'll say this. I don't know. I really don't know, man. Hey man, you could. I mean, the one lady got beat up in the resort, right?
Look, man,
You always
let
gonna
me
have.
advocate.
She got beat up in the resort, so you always gonna have one person that's doing some crazy stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? That's
You know what,
anywhere.
Rich? I'm gonna do like the client's doing. Let me advocate for the devil.
Go ahead, man.
Let me be advocate for the. But it's stuff going on in Mexico. Oh no, it's probably somebody died and hit in the head. See, I don't want to talk about the deaths. I want to
Oh,
deflect.
speaking of
I
Mexico,
want to deflect.
they have the highest rate of tourists dying in the world.
Where at?
Mexico.
See, I didn't know that. I was just playing the devil's advocate because that's what's going on. You talk about really? I didn't know that.
Yes. Yeah, man. Because you know they still got all that little, that crime family stuff going on out there, man. It's heavy
Look,
out there.
man, people can die on any resort and anywhere in the world. Why are we talking about y'all? I'm just advocating for the
I
devil.
got you. I see what you're doing
You gotta think how silly that is. When people
there.
like Markel, I gotta call you out. I watch your stuff. You like that could happen in my neighborhood. That ain't got a damn thing to do with what we talking about. That it can happen in your neighborhood. But at any rate, I did not know that, bro. Wow. I guarantee you there are people dying in the Philippines.
Word.
You know, with all those expats going over there and everything. You know, but
Yeah.
but but again, Rich man, I have so many more positive things to say
Well,
than that.
we're gonna end the show pretty soon, and we're gonna leave everything on a positive note, man. Like I say, everybody, man, don't be afraid to go to DR, man. Come on, man. Like really, man. Like don't go to the resorts, man. That's what I'm gonna say. Don't go to resort. Don't drink from a mini bar, man. Get your ass up and go to the store and get your liquor when you first. I always take my liquor with me anyhow, you know. And dealing with all those medicines and stuff, man, and you drinking and man, you gotta hydrate yourself, man. Make sure you got some water and make sure you take care of your body. You only get one body, man. So I mean, don't be popping them pills like they candy, man. Don't be
Yeah.
buying stuff on the streets either, man. You know.
You
So
know what? You know what, Rich, on another positive thing too, man, I do think there probably are a lot of expats, like you said, they come over here and they maybe going into those pharmacies, doing different kind of pills and things like that. And like kind of what you're saying, man, people come down here, they're drinking, they don't rehydrate themselves. And a lot of the people, think about a lot of people that have died, aren't young, so you can't come down here just wilding and just not use your mind because that kind of that ain't gonna help is all I'm trying to say.
yeah, and also I want to say this, man, guys, when y'all go to these different countries, man, you got to give these people the utmost respect, man. You can't walk around trying to downplay people or belittling other people because maybe you have more finances or maybe from another country. You have to be humble, man. You're a visitor, man. You're in their country, man. You're on their soil, their laws. You under their jurisdiction, man. So don't be going over there acting like you the man. Just because you the man in your neighborhood or whatever, you ain't the man out there. So don't go out there flashing, doing all that crazy stuff, throwing up money in the clubs, all that stupid stuff, man. Just remember, man, just be smart, man. Take your brain with you.
Right, right, right.
Any other advice you want to give people for coming to the DR, man?
No, man. But like I keep saying, man, just uh, when people, you know, just don't make excuses. If you want to talk about DR, talk about DR. Don't be like, well, that's my whole thing, and that's you can tell that's why I kind of get stuck. But no, again, on a positive note, I'm here for a reason. I'm here because of way more positives being here than the negatives. Do they have their problems? You damn right they got their problems. Anybody tell you they ain't got their problems over here, they bull jiving you. They bull jiving you. That's my thing. They don't, and trust me, anybody that don't talk about the cons, don't believe nothing they saying. Don't believe nothing they saying, because it's foolish to not even think. You don't have to be negative, but but certainly for me, it's better to be living here than in the United Snakes of America.
Man, why it gotta be snakes, man? Why you talking about America like that, bro?
Man,
And you got that American flag behind you, man. You confused, man.
Man, that's my granddaddy. Look, man, that's my granddaddy's. I'm not, even though I've been in the military, I'm not too patriotic like that. That's my granddaddy's funeral flag.
All right, shout out to Tampa Twan, man. Just email me, and we'll get together on that, man. I appreciate everybody listening in, man. And like I say, man, I'm all about the DR, man. I'm all about everybody traveling to the DR and different countries, man. So don't believe the hype. Don't believe all this BS y'all seeing in the news. And use them passports. Go ahead on down there. Just be smart. Don't be crazy about it. Stay off the resorts. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that travels, man, the guys that really travel to the DR, they not going to stop going, man. They not listening to that bullshit because they already been down there and they know what it's about. It's just these people that never travel. They're sitting on YouTube and they sitting on these different platforms and they just want to talk about anything that can get attention, man. So don't believe the hype, man. Go ahead, pack your bags. Go down to the DR, man. Go to Sasua, man. Do what y'all got to do, man. Go to Flip Flop, man. Try the wings, man. Let me know how it is and everything. I appreciate y'all supporting the channel tonight. Hit the like button, everybody. Hit the like button. And I'll talk to y'all later. Any last words?
No, anybody got any questions, just hit me up. I don't have a YouTube channel, but you just hit me up on this channel, on my name or whatever, and I'll respond. I like to talk, so I'll respond.
All right, just anybody watching the replay, leave a comment, man. Be nice to me, man. I'm just talking, man. Like I said, I support the DR. Don't get mad at me and unsubscribe and stuff.
Put it on me.
Put it on him, goddamn.
There you go. All right, Rich. Thanks, man.
All right, thank y'all. Appreciate you.